Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll begin with Dr. Gassman. Can you explain what metastatic melanoma is and why it can be challenging to treat?
Sure. So, melanoma in general is a skin cancer. For most patients, it's caught early and it's very curable. Unfortunately, when it spreads around the body, it becomes what we call metastatic. Simply, the body can't control the disease. And when it gets into that situation, it becomes very difficult to also treat. Luckily, we have a lot of great options that we're going to discuss today that have really made a huge change for patients. And I'm sure Chris will tell you his own story, exactly what I'm talking about.
Chris, can you share how you first discovered something was wrong and what led to your diagnosis?
Yes, absolutely. In the beginning of 2018, I discovered a lump on my body in a place where it shouldn't be, and I ignored it, did nothing about it. A few months later, I ended up discovering another lump on my body, and that concerned me enough to go to my doctors and get checked. My doctor led me to a surgeon, and I had a surgery. That pathology came back as a very rare form of metastatic malignant melanoma and came with a very poor prognosis. After I ran out of options, that's when I learned of a cell therapy in a clinical trial, which I qualified for. And I did that in January of 2020. Haven't done another treatment since.
Doctor, what are the current treatment options for people living with metastatic melanoma? And is Chris's treatment the one that you are most familiar with?
Well, I work for a company called Iovance, which created and now has commercialized a cell-based therapy. I have a background treating melanoma for many years. There are two major forms of treatment. One is a targeted therapy for the minority, but a good number of minority of these patients. They have a change in their cancer that can be treated. But what's even better for patients overall is these immune-based therapies, including cell-based therapies, which are basically leveraging the body's own immune system, its own resource that it uses to go after the cancer. But then by reinvigorating it, we've been able to make incredible advances and extend patients' lives, sometimes immeasurably. The cell-based therapy, which is the one that I'm currently most involved in, is where we actually take that immune system outside the body, reinvigorate it there, and give it back to the patient. And it's a living therapy that has many remarkable stories like Chris is describing today.
Chris, what has your experience been like with the therapy, with the cell therapy, and what would you like others to know?
My experience with this cell therapy has been incredible. You know, I didn't learn about this cell therapy until after I'd ran out of options, but I wish I would have known about it sooner because I would have tried to get to it as fast as I could. And so I want everybody out there to know to advocate for yourself, to speak up, ask the questions, ask about cell therapies, ask about clinical trials. No one's ever going to have more of a sense of urgency than yourself. Like I said, I did my last treatment in January of 2020 and have never done another one since, and it's been incredible.
Doctor, what are the key takeaways about cell therapy for metastatic melanoma, and where can our audience go for more information?
Great question. So, as Chris stated, it's a one-time therapy, so you don't have to keep coming back over and over for it. Secondly, it's a living therapy. It's a therapy that actually we've seen patients get even better benefit years after that single therapy. So in some ways, it's protective, and it really treats patients where no other therapies have worked in the past, which is really something special for melanoma patients. Ultimately, knowledge is key here. Getting that knowledge from websites like curemelanoma.org is really going to be helpful for patients and their caregivers to really understand what the disease is and why cell therapy should be right for them. And ultimately, it's getting the patients the right therapy at the right time.
Thank you both so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.